Okay, this is going to be a very quick video on how to disassemble the M60e6 gas system. We have an M60e6 commando barrel here on the bench. This is a customer's barrel that is in for servicing. His gun is starting to not run correctly, and he runs it suppressed. So he wanted the barrel inspected and serviced, which is why this is here. Every M60e6 conversion kit comes with the same type of barrel. The gas system is the same on it, which is why we wanted to kind of make this video. This isn't exactly a straightforward thing if you've never handled one of these barrels or taken one of them apart, and we figured this would just kind of make it a little easier for M60 owners. So as I talked about just a little bit ago, when the guns start running sluggish or stop running, some of the most common problems are always in the gas system. Carbon fouling, gas ports getting clogged up. This specific gentleman runs his gun suppressed, as you can see by the muzzle device on here. So he's going to have some extra nastiness coming back in here. So all these barrels are the same here. We want to just focus here on this gas plug first. Now think of this as kind of like a ratchet system. And I'll show you a little bit more once we take it completely apart. But it's held on here by a spring and a lock that prevents it from rotating off. If you look on the end of this, you can see this, it looks like a bolt head. All right, so that's what we're going to use. We have this is our M60e6 maintenance tool, and we're just going to rotate this off here. So we have our tool on the end of our bolt head, and you can hear that like ratchet type sound, which is okay. And if you look at this, you can actually see carbon falling out. See that there? That's a good indicator that this thing is definitely due for service. Just keep rotating this, keep rotating this, keep rotating it until it comes off. Okay. Some of these might come off easy, some might be a little more difficult. There we go. All right, that's your gas regulator right there. Let's see if our piston falls out of here. It's not. So, it's supposed to fall right out. There we go. So there's our piston, which we'll clean thoroughly. Checking out all our ports here, looking for carbon buildup. There's also a main gas port going into the barrel that will need to be reamed. We're not going to do a full video on how to service these. What I have found here is recently a lot of gunsmiths have been using these videos, and that's what they're there for. They're there for people to use, but I see guys using them to actually do the same type of work that we do. So I'm kind of creating competition for myself. So we're just going to focus on disassembling the gas system. Now, there's a spring in here. There's a C-clip on the top of this. And what we have to do is we have to pull this down. There's the C-clip that came out. And then this guard comes up. There's our spring, which creates that ratchet effect. And there's our lock. See the teeth on here? These teeth with this spring system, you can't see it when it's on, but this is what locks into these grooves and prevent this from coming off during firing. That's the complete disassembly of this gas system. There is a roll pin in here. If we look at this hole, and if you take that roll pin out with a punch, this piece comes off, but we usually don't take that off. We're able to get all the carbon and buildup and grime off of this without doing that. And if you look at this one, you can see significant buildup. The issue is if you let this build up too long without doing any service on it, it makes it really hard to clean later. So we'll just do the reassembly real quick. Piston goes in the cylinder. We have our lock washer, goes down over the nut. Of course, you're going to clean and service this before you put it back on. We have our shield here, guard, whatever you want to call it, that has to get fully seated, so it's got to go over the edges like that of the locking piece. And we put our C-clip in. There, now that's fully assembled. The way this goes back on is you have to line this small block up with the block in the barrel, and then you rotate this thing on. Because this is so filthy, it's going to be a little harder to rotate on. And we'll just go through the full process here real quick so that there's no questions as to how to properly reinstall this. All right, so we hear it start ratcheting. That's why we want to keep torquing it down here until it stops. So that's as tight as I can get. I like to put the barrel on the bench here so that the wrench is slightly up and hold the front sight, and just apply pressure. It gets it nice and tight. And then once we're done, we want to look and just make sure that the locking piece is in one of the grooves. See that? If you torque it too tight or not tight enough, it might be on top of one of the ridges. You don't want that. You want it in a groove. So that is a quick video on how to disassemble and reassemble the M60e6 gas system. And that's the key component in maintaining your barrel and ensuring that your gun is running smoothly. Hope this video was helpful. Appreciate everyone's business. And thank you for watching.